First things first, guys, how are you?
We're so excited. It's great to be here.
Amazing.
Very good. What I want to start with is, I wrote a couple lines down from the text. Once in a while, I wrote, no one's ever been given a roadmap. When did you guys know that music would be the path for you?
I think, Rob, you can speak to this more, but you knew from early on that you were going to be in music regardless.
Yeah.
For me, I wasn't so sure.
Why?
I don't know. I was, I guess my majors were music and entrepreneurship, and I had actually started and was working on like a different company while we were putting out YouTube videos, and they started taking off. And so I always was very passionate, and my favorite moments in life were those moments on stage when I was singing and got to perform. So I knew I loved that, but I didn't know that that would be a career, and then it kind of found me, and I found it, and it just took off that way. So yeah, there was definitely no roadmap to that one.
Okay. And Rob, for you, it was a little bit more clear to go?
I took like piano lessons, guitar lessons my whole life.
Okay.
I was in a lot of bands in high school, and then in college, and then met Cal and sort of decided he would be a good person to sort of fuse with my dance production, and hopefully we'd see what happens, and it worked out. Yeah.
Do you remember the first time that you kind of tried to make music together?
So we actually met at a party. Cal was freestyling. There was some very bad freestyling going on, and Cal sort of walked up to the group, the cipher, if you will, and said like, "I want to try," and then came in with some hot rhymes. I got super excited. I was in a funk band at the time
With no vocalist.
and said, "Yeah, why don't you come sing with us?" So he probably, I don't know if I remember the first rehearsal, like you coming to the first.
I remember
time
the first rehearsal.
to Grand Off.
We did Red House. We did Red House, and we did The Wait by the band, and we entered a battle of the bands, killed it, got to open for Ludacris, and then we were like, there was a lot of music majors in the band, and so there was discrepancies over this sounds cooler because it's wrong, and we kind of agreed on everything that the direction we wanted to go. So then we started making music together. Our first time I think we did a remix of remember the song Going Nowhere? Is that the name of the song? All around me are familiar faces.
The piano line,
Mad World,
Mad
Mad
World. Mad World, you're right.
From Donnie Darko is where I saw it first, and we did a remix of that. That was and no one's ever heard that.
Yeah.
But that was the first time we ever made music together, I think.
I want to go one step back quickly, because you say your path wasn't as clear as Rob's was. What got you into music? What made you interested in music?
I always loved music. I think my parents were very instrumental in what kind of music I was listening to, because some parents aren't music fans, and so kids are developing their own taste. I was raised with Yes, James Taylor, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, Muddy Waters, Janis Joplin, a lot of diverse styles. That's what was playing in the car when I went to school. That's what I was listening to before I went to bed. So I had a passion for music, and then I acted a little bit and sang in some plays, and then I really got into the first thing I gravitated towards from that classic rock period was Wu-Tang and Big L and early Jay-Z and obviously Biggie and Tupac, and I started falling in love with that old school hip hop sound, and that's how I would just download the instrumentals illegally. Whoops, sorry. I'd download the instrumentals and I'd just freestyle over them. And so when it came time for that party, when people were like, "My name's Doug, I like to rock a rug," and if you'd be like, "What?" It doesn't. And then I just came in and
And then you started working together. What was the ambition at that point? Because you started uploading things on YouTube and stuff. So what was the ambition at that point?
So I don't think we realized that iTunes was a goal. We didn't really think of iTunes charts as something that was achievable. Streaming didn't really exist then, which is shocking. So yeah, I guess we were just
the first goal was make something hot that we could vibe to.
Trying to make people
friends.
dance. Yeah.
He was DJing frat parties, and so we would slip our song into frat parties. If we saw kids going, we'd be like, "Damn, all right, that's real."
Yeah. So we made a few bad dance tracks, I guess, and played them at parties.
They were
so they were the testing grounds.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So how long did it take you to make something you were proud of? To think, okay, now we've got something.
I gotta tell you, those tracks were pretty hot.
I am proud of that. I am.
We've not released those to anybody and hopefully never will.
Whenever I came home from school, I played those for all my friends.
Yeah, they were really dope. Yeah. We made our first like sort of real song was Fade. That was with me, Cal, and actually this girl who sang sort of some harmonies on. We didn't ever finish it, but our now manager, who left his passport at home, leaked it to blogs, and that was sort of how our whole career started. They had like Cal produced by Rob Resnick. It was a whole thing. Right. And we said, if you guys like that, like we should make a real track. We could do this.
Here we go. Yeah.
A lot better. And I think 3 days later was our first song, which was All Night, October 10th.
What?
Whoa, where am I? I don't know. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, October 2010.
But then, well, like you say, you've really embraced kind of the possibilities of new media, and now on Instagram and those kind of things, but YouTube in particular. So what did new media allow you to do what maybe wouldn't have been possible in the past?
Yeah, YouTube was crazy for us, and still is crazy, but is really responsible for a lot of our success, which is awesome.
But in the same way that Vine is crazy and responsible for a lot of people, and Instagram and Musical.ly, it's that, you know, we saw a space where that's what we were using, that's what our friends were using, so why wouldn't we use that medium? You know, we weren't going to go to radio stations and sit there and hand out our stuff. It's like, no, we make dope music and we want you to hear it. What's the best way to get you to hear it? And that came naturally to us. And then, you know, we developed the idea of Timeflies Tuesday and doing stuff like that and messing around. But it was really just, that's how we were listening to it. So that's how we wanted you to listen to it.
And doing it this way through social media and new media, how do you, because it's very, very close to the audience, and so how did that develop your connection with the fans you have?
I think our shows were really fun for that reason. I feel like people came to the show and they weren't meeting us; they were, you know, just seeing us like they did on Tuesday.
Right.
It made the show super fun. It made our close fans really feel even closer to us. It's been super engaging, and you know, obviously, I think the more you can connect with your fans today, the better.
Okay. And now that you have an audience, obviously, well, do you consider the Scotch Tapes as the first record?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so because now you do have an album, an audience after the first two records. Right. Did you think about it when you started working for Just for
Fun? Just for Fun, yeah. I think, you know, at every point in our career, we've sort of approached the album a little differently. Okay. I think the Scotch Tape was definitely the loosest, and we really didn't care because we didn't think anyone was going to listen to it.
I mean, there were some like 5-minute songs on there.
Yeah, it was super loose. Yeah. I think Just for Fun, we sort of went into like, let's make an album where we're just going to make whatever music we want to make, and it'll be just for fun, which is why I think a lot of those songs are so great, and it's so diverse sort of sonically, which was really nice. After Hours was sort of somewhere in between, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, definitely.